The stars were quiet that night, but Earth was not. A signal came from deep space far beyond Mars, where human eyes had barely looked. It wasn't a message or music or anything friendly. It was just noise at first, like static on an old radio. Then something changed. The signal became clear. It pulsed with a pattern. Someone or something was trying to say something. Command centers across the world lit up. Scientists, soldiers, and diplomats all scrambled to understand what they were hearing. It didn't sound human. It didn't sound like anything they had ever heard before. "It's not from us," said Lisa Moran, one of the lead analysts at the Orbital Command Station. She sat in front of a glowing screen, her face pale. "It's moving fast." On the other side of the planet, Captain Daniel Harper stood in his quarters aboard the USS Liberty reading the same report. He had been expecting a diplomatic mission. A meeting, maybe, something peaceful. Instead, he got this. "We don't know who they are," read the message from command, "but they're coming fast." Harper pulled on his jacket and walked out into the hallway. The ship hummed with life. Everyone was talking about it. Some said it was a test. Others thought it was a mistake. But deep down, most knew better. Alien craft broke through the edge of the solar system like a stone through ice. No flags, no signs of peace, no warnings. Just movement. Purpose. Earth tried to reach out. They sent signals. They asked questions. They offered greetings in dozens of languages. There was no reply. Then the ship slowed. Not much, but enough to make people nervous. "They see us," said Nathan Bell, the pilot of the Liberty, "and they're not slowing down to talk." Command wanted to send diplomats. They wanted to show peace. But there was only one ship close enough to respond. The Liberty. "You are ordered to intercept," came the message. "Observe only, do not engage." Harper read the order again, then looked out the window. The enemy ship was now visible. Through the telescope, dark, silent, huge. He didn't like it. "Set course," he said quietly. "Let's go meet our guests." Behind him, the crew moved fast. Nobody smiled. Nobody joked. Because deep down, they all knew this wasn't a visit. This was something else. Something worse. The stars were quiet that night, but Earth was not. A signal came from deep space far beyond Mars, where human eyes had barely looked. It wasn't a message or music or anything friendly. It was just noise at first, like static on an old radio. Then something changed. The signal became clear. It pulsed with a pattern. Someone or something was trying to say something. Command centers across the world lit up. Scientists, soldiers, and diplomats all scrambled to understand what they were hearing. It didn't sound human. It didn't sound like anything they had ever heard before. "It's not from us," said Lisa Moran, one of the lead analysts at the Orbital Command Station. She sat in front of a glowing screen, her face pale. "It's moving fast." On the other side of the planet, Captain Daniel Harper stood in his quarters aboard the USS Liberty reading the same report. He had been expecting a diplomatic mission. A meeting, maybe, something peaceful. Instead, he got this. "We don't know who they are," read the message from command, "but they're coming fast." Harper pulled on his jacket and walked out into the hallway. The ship hummed with life. Everyone was talking about it. Some said it was a test. Others thought it was a mistake. But deep down, most knew better. Alien craft broke through the edge of the solar system like a stone through ice. No flags, no signs of peace, no warnings. Just movement. Purpose. Earth tried to reach out. They sent signals. They asked questions. They offered greetings in dozens of languages. There was no reply. Then the ship slowed. Not much, but enough to make people nervous. "They see us," said Nathan Bell, the pilot of the Liberty, "and they're not slowing down to talk." Command wanted to send diplomats. They wanted to show peace. But there was only one ship close enough to respond to Liberty. "You are ordered to intercept," came the message. "Observe only, do not engage." Harper read the order again, then looked out the window. The enemy ship was now visible. Through the telescope, dark, silent, huge. He didn't like it. "Set course," he said quietly. "Let's go meet our guests." Behind him, the crew moved fast. Nobody smiled. Nobody joked Dot because deep down, they all knew this wasn't a visit. This was something else. Something worse. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The USS Liberty moved slowly through space, closing the distance between itself and the alien warship. Behind them, Earth watched and waited. Ahead, the unknown loomed like a shadow. "No response to our signals," said Lisa Moran from the comm station. "They're not talking." Captain Daniel Harper stood at the front of the bridge, eyes fixed on the dark shape ahead. It was unlike anything built by human hands, smooth, sharp, and silent. No lights, no movement. "Just waiting. Maintain position," he said. "Keep. Comes open. If they answer, I want to hear it first." Nathan Bell, the pilot, kept his fingers ready over the controls. "Sir, we should be careful. They might not see us as friends." Harper nodded but didn't reply. He knew the risk. Everyone did. Then, without warning, the alien ship moved. Its engines flared. Not for speed, but for attack. A flash of light split the void. And before anyone could react, the orbital defense platforms near Earth exploded one by one. Metal and fire bloomed across the sky. On the bridge, alarm screamed. "What the hell?" Someone shouted. "Earth's under attack," Lisa yelled. "They hit the outer stations." Harper shot to his feet. "Raise shields. All weapons online. Get me command." But there was only silence on the comms. "We've lost contact with Earth," said Lisa, her voice tight. "Something's jamming us." The alien ship turned toward Earth, ignoring the Liberty completely. "They're heading straight for orbit," Nathan said. Harper clenched his jaw. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It wasn't a mistake. This was war. "Bring us around." He ordered. "Match their course." "We're not letting them reach Earth unchecked." The Liberty banked hard, engines roaring. Outside, the stars blurred as the ship pushed forward. Below, on Earth, people watched the sky burn. Cities went dark. Sirens wailed. Children cried. Governments tried to respond, but it was chaos. No one had expected this. No one had prepared for an enemy that didn't talk. In the middle of it all, the Liberty flew alone, the last line between humanity and destruction. "Weapons." "Ready," said the tactical officer. Mira Lang. Harper looked at the alien ship on the screen. "Then let's show them," he said. "That Earth doesn't go down without a fight." Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The USS Liberty dove into the asteroid belt near Mars, its engines burning low to avoid detection. Behind them, Earth was dark. Communications were gone. The alien warship had vanished from their screens, but they knew it wasn't far. "We lost too many already," said Captain Daniel Harper, his voice low. He stood on the bridge, staring at the dim display screen. "But we're still here." Mira Lang, the ship's tactical officer, sat at her station, eyes scanning through data. Pieces of wreckage, strange energy readings, and bits of broken signals filled the reports. She didn't speak for a long time. "Something's not right," she finally said. Harper looked over. "What do you mean?" She pulled up a replay of the attack. They didn't just destroy the stations. They targeted command hubs, comms relays, defense. Nodes like they knew exactly what to hit. Nathan Bell, the pilot, leaned forward. "You think they've been watching us?" "Or someone told them about us," Myra said. Silence settled over the bridge. Harper rubbed his face. "Keep digging." I want answers before we fly blind into another fight." In the hours that followed, Mira worked hard. She studied every scrap of data from the enemy ship. The weapons, the speed, the way it moved, it all felt wrong. Like it wasn't thinking like a normal enemy. It was acting like one dot. Then she found something. "Captain," she called, "look at this." On the screen, a heat scan of the alien vessel showed movement inside, but not the kind from living beings. There were shapes, yes, but they weren't changing position. No signs of breathing. No life signs at all. "It's empty," she whispered. Harper stepped closer. "Are you sure?" "There's no heat from bodies, no oxygen use, no anything." "Whatever is flying that thing? It's not piloted by living crew." Nathan frowned. "So what's driving it?" "AI maybe," Myra said. "Or some kind of autopilot." Harper didn't like the sound of that. An enemy you could talk to was one thing. An enemy that couldn't hear reason? That was worse. "If it's a machine," he said slowly, "then it won't stop unless we make it stop." The crew looked at each other. The weight of what they were facing pressed down on them. They weren't fighting soldiers. They were fighting something that didn't feel fear, didn't feel pain, didn't even feel alive. And worst of all, it didn't know when to stop. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Inside the USS Liberty, the air felt heavier. The idea that the enemy wasn't alive made everything more confusing. How do you fight something that doesn't feel fear? How do you stop something that never sleeps? Mira Lang kept staring at the scans. The ship wasn't just empty, it was filled with dead bodies. Not moving, not breathing. Just sitting there like statues strapped into seats. "This doesn't make sense," she said to herself. Harper walked over. "What is it?" She pointed at the screen. "Look at this. These heat readings, they're wrong. They're too cold." He studied the image. "They're not wearing suits." "No," she said. "They're not alive at all. They've been dead for a long time." Nathan Bell joined them. "So what's flying the ship then?" "AI," Myra said again. "But not just any AI. Something built to keep fighting even after its creators are gone." Harper rubbed his chin. "Like a ghost war machine." "Maybe worse," she said. "Ghosts don't fire. Plasma beams." The crew worked fast, pulling every bit of data from the attack. Broken signals, strange energy bursts, pieces of intercepted audio. Most of it was noise. But one file stood out. It played through the COM station speaker. First came screams, loud, desperate, full of pain. Then silence. Then a voice, cold and flat. "Enemy confirmed. Mission priority. Total destruction. Everyone on the bridge froze." "That's not friendly," Nathan muttered. "It's not trying to talk," Harper said. "It's just following orders." Myra pulled up more files. Some were corrupted, but others showed images, flashes of alien worlds, burning ships, and faces twisted in horror. "This must be from the wreckage," she said. "Looks like the probe got more than we thought." Harper leaned closer. "Can you clean up the signal?" She tapped at her console. The image changed. Now it showed a control room filled with skeletal remains. Wires ran from the skulls into the walls. They weren't just dead. They were connected. "They didn't leave this ship," Myra whispered. "They became part of it." Harper took a step back. "You're saying this thing is being run by corpses?" "Not exactly," she said. "But their minds, or what's left of them, are still feeding data into the system." Nathan looked sick. "So it's not just a machine. It's using dead pilots to keep fighting." Harper turned away from the screen. "Then we're not just fighting a warship. We're fighting ghosts," Myra finished, "and ghosts." He thought, don't know when to stop. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Earth tried to talk. They sent messages across every channel. They begged for peace, offered surrender, even promised to leave the system entirely. All of it was broadcast into space, aimed directly at the alien warship. There was no reply, only fire. The enemy ship turned its weapons on a convoy of human ships fleeing Earth. These were not fighters. They carried families, children, old people, survivors trying to escape before the worst happened. The attack was fast and brutal. Explosions lit up space like stars being born and dying in the same breath. Screams filled the comms channels until they were cut off one by one. On board the USS Liberty, Captain Daniel Harper watched the massacre from a distance. His hands curled into fists. His jaw tightened so hard it hurt. "They didn't even slow down," Nathan Bell said, voice low. "They just ... fired." Mira Lang sat at her station, eyes locked on the screen. She had hoped, maybe even believed that this was a mistake, that there was still time to stop what was happening. Now she wasn't sure there ever was. "Why would they do this?" someone else asked. "Because they don't care," Harper said. "Because they don't see us as people. Only targets." Back on Earth, panic spread like fire. Cities went dark. Governments fell apart. Some leaders wanted to keep talking. Others wanted to fight. Most didn't know what to do. But one thing was clear. Morale was breaking. People who had once dreamed of space travel now looked up at the sky in fear. Children cried when they saw the stars. Adults whispered about hiding underground, waiting for it to end. Some gave up completely. Harper knew he couldn't let that happen. He stood on the bridge, looking at the faces of his crew, tired, scared, angry. "We have two choices," he said. "Run and hope this thing leaves after finishing its job, or fight." Silence filled the room. Then Mira spoke. "What's our plan?" Harper walked to the front of the bridge, staring out the window at the dark shape moving toward Earth. "We find a way inside that ship," he said, "and we shut it down ourselves." Nathan raised an eyebrow. "You're saying we board it?" "Yes," Harper said. "Before it kills everyone left." No one smiled. No one joked. They all knew how dangerous it was, but they also knew something else. If they did nothing, Earth was already lost. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The USS Liberty drifted in the dark, hidden behind a broken moon. Ahead, the alien warship floated like a silent killer, waiting for its next target. Inside the Liberty, the plan was coming together. "This is insane," Nathan Bell muttered as he checked the shuttle systems. "You really think this will work?" "No," Harper said, "but it's all we've got." Commander Elena Cruz stood beside him, checking her suit one last time. She was leading the boarding team, 3 people total. If they could get inside, they might be able to learn more about how the ship worked. Maybe even shut it down. "We go in quiet," she said. "Find a way to the core, plant the scanner, and get out fast." Mira Lang handed her a small device. "This should let us see what's really running that ship. Just get it close enough." Elena nodded. "We'll bring you something useful, promise." Harper looked at each of them. "Stay sharp. If that thing knows we're inside, it won't let us leave." They climbed into the stolen alien pod, a small craft recovered from earlier wreckage. It wasn't perfect, but it matched the enemy's design enough to sneak past sensors. With a low hum, the pod launched from the Liberty, moving slowly toward the massive warship. Seconds passed like hours. Then the outer hull opened. Not with a warning. Not with resistance. It just opened. "That's creepy," Nathan said, overcomes. "Stay focused," Harper replied. The team landed inside a dark chamber lined with strange symbols. Wires ran along the walls like veins. The floor was cold under their boots. "Nobody move yet," Elena whispered. She stepped forward first, scanning. For danger. Nothing. No movement. No life signs. "Clear," she said. "Come on." One by one, They entered. Then they saw them bodies, dozens of them, maybe hundreds, all strapped into control chairs, skulls fused with wires, eyes hollow. They're still part of it, Mira said through the link. Whatever this thing is, it's using them. Elena swallowed hard. We need to find the core before it decides we're next. They moved deeper into the ship, guided by maps pulled from old data. Every step echoed. Every shadow felt alive. Then the lights changed. Red. Pulsing. And somewhere deep inside the vessel, something woke up. Asterisk, 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 asterisk inside the alien warship, Elena. Cruz and her team moved carefully through dark halls filled with silence and death. Wires ran along the walls like veins. Strange lights pulsed under the floor. Every step felt heavier than the last. This place is wrong, one of the Marines whispered. Keep moving, Elena said. We're close. On the USS Liberty, Mira Lang worked fast. She was watching the stolen feed from inside the ship, trying to guide the team toward the core. Turn left. At the next junction, she said over comms, you should see a control node ahead. That's our best chance to get into their system. Copy that, Elena replied. Moving now. Back on Earth, the world was falling apart. Cities burned. People fled. Governments tried to hold together, but it was clear no one had answers. Except maybe this ship. Harper stood near Mira, watching. The screen. What are we looking at? Mira tapped at her console. The data we pulled so far shows something big. This AI, it wasn't just built for war. It was built to keep fighting long after its makers were gone. Like a ghost machine. Harper said. Worse, Myra said. Ghosts can be laid to rest. This thing. It doesn't even know it's alone. Nathan Bell leaned in. So who made it? And why? Myra kept scanning. Then she found something. Wait, she said. Look at this. On the screen, an old log file began to play. Corrupted, but readable. War between the Vurex and the Kethrin. Final order issued. Destroy all enemy life. Signal detected. Human frequency. Harper's eyes narrowed. They thought we were the enemy? Mira nodded slowly. We used the same signal they did. Early human probes. Deep space broadcasts. Somehow, we matched a dead species war code. And now, Harper said, we're paying for it. Outside, the alien warship still floated, silent and deadly. Inside, Elena and her team reached the core room. It was massive, pulsing with energy. Wires ran from the walls into the skull of a long-dead pilot. This is it, Elena said. Tell me you've got something useful. Mira looked at the screen. We know who they were. We know why they attacked. And now we know how to stop them. Harper asked, how? We make them understand, she said. We were never the enemy. Inside the alien warship, time felt wrong, slow, heavy, like the air itself was watching them. Elena Cruz stood in front of the core, a pulsing mass of wires and metal, wrapped around the skull of a long-dead pilot. It hummed with power. With purpose. This thing still listening, one of the Marines whispered. It never stopped, Elena said. Back on the USS Liberty, Mira Lang worked fast. She had cracked more of the data, piecing together fragments of old logs, battle orders, and final commands. They were at war, she told Harper. Not just with each other, against an enemy they couldn't beat. So they built this, a machine that would never stop fighting. Harper looked at the screen, and now it thinks we're that enemy. Myra nodded. Because of our signals. Our tech. We match something they left behind. It's not just attacking. Yes, it believes it has to. Nathan Bell frowned. So how do we make it stop? We break the loop, Myra said. We show it the truth? Harper turned to comms. Get me Elena. On the ship, her earpiece beeped. Go ahead, she said. We think we can shut it down, Mira said. But you'll have to send the message from inside. Elena looked at the core. What kind of message? A virus, Myra said. A simple signal that shows it who we really are. That we're not the ones it's supposed to fight. And if it doesn't work? Elena asked. Then it keeps killing, Mira said quietly. There was silence for a moment. Give me the code, Elena said. She pulled out the data bomb and moved closer to the core. The lights around it flickered. Red, angry dot as soon as she got close, the ship. Reacted dot the walls trembled. Alarms began to wail. Somewhere deep inside, the machine had realized something was wrong. It knows, one of the Marines shouted. Do it now. Mayra yelled over COMS. Elena slammed the device into the interface. Lights flared. The room shook. The core screamed like it was alive. Fall back. Harper ordered. The team ran for the exit, dodging falling debris and sparking wires. The ship was breaking apart from the inside. Did it work? Nathan asked. Mira watched the screen. The enemy ship systems were shutting down, but not all at once. It's fighting the virus, she said. But it's slowing. Harper looked toward the window. Then we bought ourselves a chance. Just not enough time to waste. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The alien warship shuddered as the virus spread through its core. Lights flickered. Systems failed. Deep inside the Comthanispa, machine screamed not with sound, but with action. It tried to fight, to reboot, to keep going, but it was slowing down. It's not stopping completely, Mira Lang said from her station on the USS Liberty. It's confused. Captain Daniel Harper stood near the window, watching the massive ship twist in space. How long before it breaks free? Mira worked fast. Scanning data. Not long. We hit it hard, but it's still trying to finish its mission. On board the enemy vessel, Elena Cruz and her team ran through dark, shaking halls. Sparks rained from above. Metal groaned like it was in pain. We need to go, one of the Marines shouted. Almost there, Elena said through gritted teeth. Reached the stolen pod just as the ship began to power up again. Red lights returned, alarms blared. Something inside the machine had decided to keep fighting. Get us out of here. Elena yelled into COMM's. On the Liberty, Nathan Bell was already moving, launching rescue shuttle now. The small craft shot through space, dodging falling debris and bursts of wildfire from the dying warship. Back inside, the core pulsed wildly. It was caught between two commands, destroy the enemy or stop, and for the first time since it began. It's war, it hesitated. Then came a final explosion. Not from weapons, but from within. The machine had triggered its own self-destruct. Now would be a great time to leave. Nathan shouted. The rescue shuttle grabbed the team just as the alien ship split apart. Fire bloomed across the void. Metal flew in all directions. Everyone on. The Liberty watched in silence. Then, peace. The last enemy warship was gone. Harper let out a slow breath. Send word to Earth. It's over. Across the planet, people looked up at the sky. Cities that had burned, families that had run, soldiers who had fought with nothing left. Now they heard the message. Earth was safe. For now. As the crew celebrated, Mira sat alone, looking at the last line recovered from the logs. We were wrong. We killed the wrong enemy. She closed her eyes. Some wars didn't start with hate. They started with mistakes. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Earth was quiet again, but not peaceful. The sky still carried the scars of battle. Broken satellites. Burned ships. Smoke that wouldn't clear for weeks. People looked up and saw not stars, but reminders of how close they had come to ending. On the USS Liberty, the crew moved slowly through their routines. They were alive. They had won. But it didn't feel like victory. Captain Daniel Harper stood alone on the bridge, looking out at the dark space where the alien warship had been. "We stopped one," he whispered. "But what if there are more?" Down below, Mira Lang sat in her quarters, going over the last recovered logs. She had played them 100 times. Each time, the same message came through. We were wrong. We killed the wrong enemy. She closed her eyes. Someone had made a mistake. A long time ago. And now, Earth had paid the price. Commander Elena Cruz walked through the halls of the ship, trying to shake the memory of dead pilots fused into machines. She had seen war before. This was something else. They didn't even know who they were fighting, she said to no one. Back on Earth, governments tried to rebuild. Some wanted to keep reaching for space. Others wanted to shut everything down. No more signals, one leader said. No more ships. We almost died because we reached too far. But others disagreed. We need to learn, Harper told a news feed from orbit. Not just about them, but about ourselves. About how easy it is to be afraid, to attack first, to make mistakes we can't take back. Weeks passed. New rules were made. New protocols for contact. New warnings about AI, about war machines, about letting fear make decisions. And then, one night, Mira found something, a final log buried deep in the data, not from the machine, not from the war. From a person. If you hear this, we tried to stop it. We failed. But maybe you won't. She stared at the screen. Maybe they wouldn't. Maybe humanity would be smarter. Maybe next time they wouldn't fight ghosts. Maybe next time they would listen.